pleasant afternoon to you all. We thank you for joining us. This is Nigeria Now on Equa Television International, and is a joint conversation. That means you can join us on the Facebook and YouTube, as we discuss matters arising on this particular platform. And I'm not doing this alone. I have Joyce Okada with me,
as always. Good afternoon, Sabo Suleiman.
Afternoon, looking great.
Pleasant afternoon to our viewers out there. Thank you. You look great as well.
Thank you. Well, today we want to look into what our leaders are saying, and to some Nigerians, they feel our leaders supposed to say this at this particular time. Is it the right time? Should they not say certain things at a given situation? And this is because what the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said when he on his tour, to visit some chiefdom, to pay his homage to some particular traditional rulers. And he said he invoked the spirit of freedom to win election. And Nigerians are asking, did we have election? Is it free and fair? If you are saying that you truly win, and these issues are on in the tribunal, and then the whole thing, threw Nigerians into debate. People are asking so many questions. Some questions they ask themselves and they give themselves answer. What's your take on that?
Well, the statement, I invoke the spirit of freedom to win the election, of course, was said by our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday when he visited Ogun State. And this is his first visit after he became the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, in the spirit of the Eid el-Kabir, he was staying in Lagos, his hometown, because since he left Lagos to Abuja, not until lately that he went back there after arriving from London. He was welcomed by supporters, state officials, amongst others. And he reiterated his commitment to the renewed hope slogan of his campaign and all of that. And after Lagos, we saw how that he went also to Ogun State on what you can liken to thank you tour. And before then, he promised to visit about 3 senatorial districts, but obviously, maybe for some reasons, he was only able to visit about 2. And then most of the places he went to in those senatorial districts were to visit the monarchs there. And it was in that visit why he talked about the challenges encountered during the elections, especially as regard the cashless policy, that he said he invoked the spirit of freedom, the spirit of determination that is symbolized by the Emilokan title. If you mention Emilokan, my turn, is something that is noted or is known like a common statement that you hear from the president during the campaign and even after, it is my turn. And so he said that despite all the challenges, he invoked that spirit twice, and that is what is seen even in his service as expressed in the nation, and even more to come. The president said this in separate remarks at the palaces of the paramount ruler of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Adetona in Ijebu Ode, and then Alake of Igba land, Oba Adetotun Gbadebo in Abeokuta, and all these were during the thank you visit. We saw how he said his money was confiscated, and he had to invoke the spirit of freedom and determination, like I said earlier on, as symbolized by Baba Emilokun, and that's just for him to overcome the obstacles in the election. He talked about, yes, the cashless policy didn't even work at the end of the day. It was terrible then, and he realized he had to come back to Ogun State to invoke that spirit twice. He said, I invoked the spirit twice, the spirit of Baba Emilokun. That Baba, being blunt, being decisive, that's him. He will tell you. The second spirit is that of money or no money, we will do the election and we will win, he said. And he actually said that he was very optimistic that he was definitely going to win this election, having invoked the spirit of Emilokan twice. But in all of this, to win the election, what is actually paramount? He was highlighting the fact that the Naira cashless policy was targeted at him, more like to disable him from winning and of course, it is by the same APC administration. And well, if we were to look at the issue of the cashless policy, in literal times, it is a good policy. But what we continue to maintain is the implementation. We saw how that has brought untold hardship on Nigerians. A lot of people lost their lives struggling for cash. We've seen how that some banks, POS operators were even burned. We saw how that some bankers resort to climbing the fence to escape for their life. They were made vulnerable because of the lack of the maybe good modalities put in place to ensure that this doesn't cause untold hardship on the people. And that's what the conversation has always been about. The policy in its real sense is good, because Nigeria cannot have more than half of its cash outside of the banking system. It's detrimental to the economy and wide introduction. But when the president continues to hammer on the fact that the cashless policy was targeted at him, now it goes a long way to show that people begin to question the arrest of even the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele. It's going to be like a fight back or something. He's been detained and interrogation are ongoing and all of that. So since the case is already being investigated, I don't think he should continue to hammer on that being like targeted at him and all of that. Interrogation is ongoing, investigation. Let's wait to see the output. But great one, seeing him going back to visit. He talked about the fact that he actually started from that Ogun State. He appreciated all his supporters, all the people that stood by him from the campaign. Even after winning, they stood by him, and all some of the decisions and policies that he's taking, like the first subsidy removal, the exchange rate, amongst other things. And he said he's going to take more of such decisions. But then we just hope that just like we saw him in Ogun State, we are going to see him in the east, we are going to see him in the north as well, going there, because he's not just the president of one region, but the president of Nigeria as far as we are concerned now. So we hope to see him everywhere.
Well, I just hope that Nigerians will just find a place to really put in their heart that what he's saying is not what they are thinking, you know, because to some out there is like they don't think it is the right time for him to say such utterances, like telling Nigerians that it's because he invoked the spirit. Yes, I know the spirit of determination, but you know how people can just misquote you or misunderstand you, you know, when you say certain things. Is it that because you invoke a certain spirit, you know, and the spirit is found in a particular place? That means anybody that is looking for president will go there and then invoke that spirit, you know, something that was keenly contested, something that, you know, is being strongly debated, you know, in the tribunal, and then you are here saying this is the reason why you would. Yes, well, he have his own stuff, but as a leader, you know, I just feel there are certain things now that Nigerians are even watching, like they don't really know where exactly we are going. The policies that now he's bringing, he's implementing, you know, they are not really seeing it as masses friendly, if I'll put it that way. And then, well, let's just pray and see the outcome of the implementation that he said he will continue to take those steps of decisive action, you know, when it comes to governance, you know, fuel subsidy removal, and then with so many things, and the president is saying the masses should endure.
You know, when I first saw that, when I heard the president, I was asking, can't the government officials endure the pain for the sake of the masses? It was just recently we saw how the president returned from London, and then how he was welcomed. Look at the number. A lot of people have been talking about the number of convoy. Before now, the conversation has been about reducing the cost of governance. And then for the the first 15 days, people were already applauding President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for some of the decisions he has taken. But again, we cannot be saying, oh, be showing concern for the poor, for the masses, yet it's not being reflected in our own way of life, in our own spending and all of that. People were counting convoys of cars that are more than 100, even though we cannot just tie all of those cars to just the president, because in that welcoming, we have some service chiefs there, we have even the national security advisor, the governor was there, and all of these people have their own personal convoy, and joined together is what made that over 100 cars that we saw that from that particular convoy. But I kept asking myself, we saw display of cultural dances, we saw parades and all of that just to welcome the president, and I was wondering, this is not another inauguration, but of course all these things at the end of the day, funds were spent for them. All those cars, if you check with even the removal of fuel subsidy, how much is being spent to fuel all of that car? So can we get to the point where the cost of governance can be reduced? Can we see the government taking the pains on behalf of the people and saying, no, because I am the president, because I am the governor, I'm going to cut these expenses so that the people in this sector can benefit, can enjoy. Every time we keep hearing, Nigerians, can you be patient? Can you endure this baby step and all of that? At the end of the day, is going to pay and all of that. So I kept asking myself, why can't we have situations whereby the leaders can bear the pain, can endure the pain? As we speak, there are people that barely feed a day. It's just, we are in the celebration season, Eid el-Kabir, and then we saw how that in Lagos, in Abuja, and some part of the country, most of these fun spots were just, very little people were seen in that place. Not many people were there because of what the removal of the fuel subsidy, of course, has brought untold hardship, because there was no means to cushion the effect on the people. And so people even found it hard to even eat, talk more of even coming out or go to fun centers. This is one of the celebrations where you go around town and you see nobody. Why? Because we cannot deny the fact that people are suffering. Nigerians are in pain. Can we see our government being deliberate? Yes, we know that there are gains to some of these reforms, like the president said, and all of these statements he made, it was still during his the visit yesterday in Ogun State at different some of the palaces, the monarchs that he went to visit. He made all of this statement. He knows that there are hardship, and he keeps talking about faith, about unity, about stability, about Nigerians under his watch and enjoying peace and security and all of that. As optimistic as we are, we don't want to be pessimists, but can we see realistic steps? Can we see proactiveness beyond the talk? Can we see it in action? The man in that village is not bothered about what you're seeing. You want to see the reality in place. So can we see government being deliberate about the welfare of its citizens? Sambo Solomon, people are in pain. People are suffering. The government needs to be deliberate about bringing about means that will cushion the effect of this fuel subsidy. The exchange rate, like all of these policies are good, like I said earlier on. As he's going about doing this thank you tour, I just hope that he really sees the pains that people are actually going through, and with immediate effect they come up with palliatives or measures to cushion the effect of this removal. We are not against it, but we are saying, can government too feel the pain and then let the welfare of the people improve for once? We are seeing after the last meeting between NLC and then the federal government on the removal of fuel subsidy, a lot of demands were made, but rather they were shared into short time, long time, and medium time. None of the demand is being implemented, from the minimum wage of 200,000 naira to even the introduction of buses, CNG, and all of that will help. Which of them have we implemented? There were also suggestions of paying a civil servant about 25 billion naira that will be allocated monthly to help cushion all of this effect. None of it. Are we waiting till people die before we do the needful? So the welfare of the cities, just think about it. If the people are not there, will we have government? Will we have leaders at all of this level? You are there because of the people. So let's see the officials being deliberate also about the welfare of Nigerians.
Nigerians are asking, what sacrifice do our leaders are our leaders asking for? Because you look at the past regime, all you hear the leaders saying, be patient, we are taking drastic step to see that we position Nigeria. We only see our leaders rather complaining instead of finding solutions to some of our problems. And then when you hear our leaders saying that they are not in hurry to fix the nation, and you ask yourself, then why are you in the office? Before you came into the office, you know, you categorically tell us that you know certain things are wrong, and when you come on board, you are going to fix them, you are going to correct them, you are going to work on them. And then just barely not up to 100 days, and then you hear the leader saying he is not in a hurry. So are we going to keep on taking these baby steps while we know the issue? Because when you hear people talking about baby steps, sometimes they want to use the station and learn. And I think I listened to Mr. President when he said, all of us, when he was having a parley with the governors, all the governors, he said, we belong to different party, but now it's about governance. We have to come together, agree, and then fix this nation. He said he knows that they have inherited so many issues, you know, from the previous government. But what he's saying now is that because we know we can't complain, we have to roll and then try to fix and do our best. So what he's trying to say in summary is not time for complaint. So I feel our leaders have to be deliberate in their own leadership, and we can't afford to see this country, you know, knowing our problem and then somebody is saying we need to take baby step, because it's the baby step that took us this far when it comes to the issue of fuel subsidy, that today Nigerians are even shocked by hearing that the reason why fuel subsidy or corruption, let me put it this way, that the reason why corruption in the fuel subsidy was allowed, let me put it that way, is because so that the ruling party now will win election. Simply put, that's what it means. Because before you came into the office, that's what you campaign. You say that's your target because you know that there are so many bad things that is going in that particular sector. And when you come, you are going to treat it until you are not even the one that removed it. And you gave us the reason. How do you want Nigerians to think? These are some of the things that make the common citizen don't even believe, you know, in our leaders. And we are saying, we see how Nigerians came out because they feel it is important when you say get involved in governance, participate, you know, and that's the reason why we came out. We voted those that already are in the office now. And we expect to see changes. We expect to see changes.
Well, while we applaud the president on some of the decisions he has taken, like that of the removal of fuel subsidy, the single exchange rate, among other decisions, which he said is still yet to take, which is in the interest of Nigeria. I've seen how that during this visit, he kept emphasizing on national development, and at various different points where he visited, he talked about his determination and his readiness to actually bring Nigeria out of the dungeon that it has found itself. But with all of these assurances, and then while he appealed to Nigerians to be patient and endure the pain, which is just temporary, I would like to borrow from the words of the Archbishop of Sokoto, talking about Matthew Kukah, when he visited the Sultan of Sokoto on the celebration of the Eid el-Kabir. He said every government official, calling on the president as well, to look into the welfare of its citizens, because even all the lives that have been lost, no soul, nobody deserves to die. It is the responsibility of the government to protect Nigerians and its welfare and their welfare. So, and no government should fail in that area. This is one of the it is the primary responsibility, and he is urging the president as well as every government official to look into the welfare of its citizens. Again, I'm re-echoing, the welfare of Nigerians are paramount, and every government at all levels need to be deliberate about ensuring that the citizens are not just safe, but they have like they have their welfare being prioritized, because they went out there, they voted for these leaders. And even if some of these leaders force their way, they are representative of the people. So beyond personal interest, they should look at and consider national interest. And leaders should know that on the last day, everybody will give account of that position that he or she have actually hold. So because you are not there to just go and accumulate wealth at the detriment of Nigerians. See people dying of hunger, yet some people are embezzling money, keeping it as Swiss account or some burying somewhere else. Like, everybody at the end of the day will give account. So while leaders call or appeal on Nigerians to endure pain, we also want to see them cutting the cost of governance, so that we will know that yes, their heart is also into service and into protection of its citizens.
Joyce, it would amaze you to know that these people, I doubt if they are up to 1%, that you can tell that these leaders truly are representing the masses. Because number one, those people occupying those offices, already their family have been taken care of by the standard of the office that they are occupying. They don't buy fuel, they don't buy diesel, they don't buy rice. They only see rice stock in their store. Whatever they need is being provided by the virtue of the office they are occupying. They are being given free cars. You understand? And that's the reason why some of them, because they are sick, they look for a particular office by hook or by crook, because that office will take care of their health. Taking care of their health, not in Nigeria. That's when you hear them traveling for medical treatment abroad. Because personally, if you are to say they are the ones to take care of that, they won't, because they don't have that capacity. And that's why some of them, once they get there, they don't want to leave that office. They will try their possible best to remain in that office. Like Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not a poor person. We know how he has been installing people with his own money. You understand? We know how he spent his money, because today you can't say that somebody is his godfather that gave him money or installed him there. And I think that's the reason why he is doing some of the things that he's doing without people really questioning him, because he have the capacity. And that's what we want, to break that monopoly of godfatherism. But we want, once you are coming there, have the capacity to know what exactly the problem, and then know that you can fix it without anybody dictating things to do. Because he went around. Some of these leaders, if not all, they went around to the rural areas. Some of them trekked to meet certain people, because their vote is very important. People are hungry. People are dying. Now, you can spend, like workers now, some spend up to 1,500 naira a day. That is if you are to skip meal. On transportation. And how much are you collecting? And you have to come to office. You have the pressure of your children eating, school, and medical. And you see them still saying that Nigerians should sacrifice. Joyce, it doesn't match. Let's see them, you that have something. Let's hear you saying, I expect you have everything. Why can't you give your salary? Let's say leadership by example. Well, because you are not poor. I'm giving my salary for 1 year. I'm not taking anything from the government. Let the government settle. But are we hearing that? Well, the government is following your whatever.
Leadership is about service, and service from the heart to the people. And when we talk about governance in real time, it is about improving the lives of the people. When the lives of the people are not being improved, then there's no governance. So we hope that our leaders at all levels will do the needful.
Well, Joyce, thank you for doing this with me today.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Viewers, we sincerely appreciate you for staying tuned with us. We thank you so much for your comment, and we thank you for always following this program. And we hope to do this again, same time, same station. Be kind to one another. Bye-bye.